What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro, back again with another reaction video. Yeah. You guys may want to buckle up for this and next one, guys. We've got a viral clip surfacing of Miss Nancy Pelosi. This one may have just done it, guys, sealing the deal for good. We may have just seen the end of Nancy Pelosi based on this following clip. We know Nancy for, trying to come after Trump and say that he should be thrown in jail, locked up for bringing about an insurrection on J6, guys. We know that not to be true. If anyone should be thrown in jail, it should be her, honestly, for her insider trade secrets, corrupt insider trade secrets, and her shady business dealings, guys. I'm excited to check out this viral clip that's been breaking the internet of Nancy Pelosi. So we're gonna get straight into it, guys, and I'll give my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end so you guys can get my thoughts on the back end. Let's get straight into it. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We've got a left-wing narrative to absolutely demolish today. Let's start off with two words. Inconvenient truth. A truth that is inconvenient to a particular group of people. Well, here's an inconvenient truth to the Democrat Party and the establishment leftist fake news media. There was no insurrection, and Donald Trump never incited violence on January 6th. Ooh, I know, controversial statement. And obviously I'm being sarcastic. It's not controversial at all, or at least it shouldn't be, because it's blatantly obvious. And of course, the more information that drops, the more video evidence that we gain access to, the more that very inconvenient truth, well, I guess, remains true. Folks, we got another flashback J6 video bouncing all over Twitter to the tune of millions of views. I know Jack Smith is hell-bent on getting Donald Trump over the whole January 6th thing, but we really don't need a DC January 6th trial. It's completely unnecessary. All that's really required is a personal computer and access to the internet, and I guess the ability to type keywords. Take 2 seconds to do your own research, and Jack Smith's case falls apart. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, friends, so here's the clip that Nancy Pelosi's little January 6th commission never wanted you to know existed.
Respect our landmarks! Respect the Capitol! He said he saw on his Twitter account, Donald Trump.
We're going to pull up the tweet. Donald Trump has asked everybody to go home.
We're staying!
Okay, then stay. I don't give a shit. This is America. You guys want to stay? That's fine. Donald Trump has asked everybody to go home.
Yeah, hold on, wait, read this. Hold on. Yeah, read this. Read it.
Donald Trump, quote, I am asking for everyone in the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect our law enforcement, men and women in blue.
So that's before entry was made into the Capitol. That's Jacob Chansley, a man who was sentenced to a federal prison sentence over his supposed involvement in a violent overthrow of the U.S. government. He is literally telling people to not go into the Capitol to remain peaceful, and those aren't his own words. No, he's quoting the president, Donald Trump. How can you possibly be guilty of insurrection or fomenting a violent overthrow of the government when you're literally on record telling people to go home, and there's video evidence of people on the ground that day having received that message and telling people to go home and turn around and not commit violent acts? I don't get how it's even an argument. Leftoids go, well, how could you possibly defend Donald Trump? He tried to overthrow the government. What are you missing? How many times do we have to play this clip?
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time.
Not to mention, back on January 6, 2021, Twitter put a warning label on that video. This claim of shenanigans is disputed and this tweet can't be replied to, retweeted, or liked due to risk of violence. Risk of violence? Could you imagine rewriting history in real time when the President of the United States is telling people to go home and to be peaceful, and you decide to reframe that as a call to violence or risk of violence? Jack Smith should have no case. You know, the fact that he got a grand jury to indict the former president to begin with just goes to show how easily corrupted the justice system can become when you introduce vendettas and political biases. There is absolutely no argument to be made whatsoever. Yet Democrats will continue to make the most nonsense, out of this world, outlandish arguments. I mean, for instance, what's going on right now as they attempt to remove Donald Trump from ballots, the arguments the top Democrats are making are completely detached from reality, the facts. It's essentially incoherent nonsense.
How quickly do you think that the Supreme Court will weigh in on this, if they will at all? You assume that they will, right?
Yeah. I mean, under constitutional federalism, every state is ultimately going to control its own ballot access and access to candidates for the ballot. And that is obviously difficult when we're talking about electing the president, who is the one official we've got in America who is supposed to represent the entire country, represent everybody. And so I think that the urgency is for the Supreme Court to act. But I think it's going to be tough for some of them if they want to keep Trump on the ballot, if they're falling for the argument that this is undemocratic. I mean, is it undemocratic that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jennifer Granholm can't run for president because they weren't born in the country? If you think about it, of all the forms of disqualification we have, the one that disqualifies people for engaging in insurrection is the most democratic, because it's the one where people choose themselves to be disqualified. In terms of your age or where you were born, that's not up to you. But Donald Trump is in that tiny, tiny number of people who've essentially disqualified themselves.
To be a Democrat representative, and not just any Democrat representative, but part of the top brass of the Democrat Party, this is Nancy Pelosi's freaking henchman, to be that guy and to say something so inexcusably unconstitutional, there's simply no justification for it. Donald Trump engaged in insurrection and he disqualified himself. Section 3 of Article 14 applies because we decided that he engaged in insurrection. Everybody's ignoring the fact, the Democrat interpretation of the 14th Amendment is completely incorrect. You don't just go to Section 3 of Article 14 and then a Secretary of State just decide that Donald Trump is guilty of insurrection and then remove him from the ballot. There's a process for it. It's called Section 5 of the 14th Amendment, which specifically states that Congress has the sole authority to pass laws relating to insurrection, and that essentially that standard has to be met before finding somebody guilty of insurrection. Not to mention the whole issue with whether the president is an officer of the United States. It seems as though there's legal precedent to suggest that the title officer does not apply to presidents. Then there's the element of presidential immunity. The reality here is that these Democrats are talking out of their behinds. Jamie Raskin claims that being disqualified based on engaging in insurrection is the most democratic form of disqualification. A very weird statement to make. Yeah, so democratic. Pulling your political opponent off the ballot without any due process because your little goon Democrat Secretary of State decided for the rest of the state who they can and can't vote for. I mean, how utterly ridiculous. That's what's so frustrating about all of these processes. Everything that's currently going on with all of these indictments and attempts to remove Trump from the ballot, all of these cases are built on mountains and mountains of lies. I mean, for Pete's sakes, Mrs. Shenna Bellows, Maine's Secretary of State, used freaking YouTube clips as official evidence in her decision to remove Trump from the ballot. Cherry-picked nonsense videos, and of course, ironically enough, the literal most watched, most relevant clip was simply omitted. The one I showed you previously, or actually the two that I showed you previously. These cases aren't serious. These Democrats aren't serious. The question is the American electorate going to let them get away with this desecration of the American Constitution?
Yo, there we have it, guys. Coming from our friend Liberal Hive Mind. Definitely going to be sure to leave that original video link down in the description box below for those of you who want to go over there and check that out, and also for you guys to go over there and show our friend Liberal Hive Mind some love. Oh my goodness, guys. And Nancy Pelosi and her team have been trying their hardest to keep this clip away from the internet, guys. I see why this clip has millions of views already, guys. This guy, Jacob Chansley, was out there saying and reading word for word, one of Donald Trump's tweets saying, Go home, guys. We seen it, guys. 4K quality, the best video quality there is. Jake Chansley reading off of Trump's Twitter saying that, you know, this is not the right thing to do. Go home, you guys. Go home. We want peace. We want to respect the Capitol. We want to respect the landlords. You guys heard that. We want to respect the landlords. They want us to leave, but we're going to leave, guys. Even the guy says, we're not going to leave. We're going to stay here. Jake's like, okay, well, you can stay, but everyone else, we're leaving. It just doesn't make sense how, you know, Nancy Pelosi and Jack Smith are, you know, coming to the narrative to say that, you know, Trump has brought about or incited these insurrections. Nowhere in those clips did we see or have we seen yet where Trump has called for violence, called for people to, you know, rise up and take action against, you know, Congress. I'm really glad to see that this, you know, video evidence is finally surfacing, you know, points to otherwise, saying that, you know, there was no, you know, violence on this insurrection. J6 wasn't what it was made out to be by the left liberal mainstream media. I feel like they, you know, they did this on purpose. This was all a part of the plan, guys. This was no accident, and that's why they're using this verbiage of insurrection this whole time. Starting to get a hunch that this was no accident coming from the left, guys. They knew what the Constitution stated. Amendment 14, you know, in that section 3. They knew exactly what they were trying to do, you know, by using that verbiage, insurrection. They were trying to paint that picture this whole time. They knew what was coming. They knew Trump would, you know, announce he's going to run again if he, you know, they took an election from him. Of course, this guy is going to try to get back in office again. They knew that their only hope in stopping this guy from running again forever would be to get him on a technicality like this one. The only thing that the left didn't account for is Trump being exonerated on, you know, the insurrection charges. Guys, he has never been convicted of an insurrection. That's why this whole point they're trying to make is null and void. They have to put this guy on the ballot. Guys, Sheena Bellows, Nancy Pelosi, Jack Smith, they're all going down. Trump will be on that 2024 ballot, whether they like it or not, guys. Definitely up in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. Nancy Pelosi trying to, you know, shove this video into a dark corner. This really does change everything, changes the whole narrative of, you know, what went down on J6. Guys, get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys smash that like button, guys. It does not cost a thing. Hit that like button for your boy. And also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We got